What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and I have been on full tilt all morning because I am so excited to talk to you guys about Pokemon 151. I absolutely think this is hands down the best investment product in the Pokemon space in 2023. Now, that is a very bold prediction. You know, on this channel, we make bold predictions, but then we also like to back it up with facts and numbers and data and all that good stuff. I don't think it's enough just to say, hey, the cards are going to be really cool, which they are. We're going to talk about the cardboard. We're going to talk about the what, which is the cardboard, towards the end of the video. But before we get into the what, we're going to talk about the how and the why, because that's what's really, really important here. The how. We're going to look at 6 years worth of data over 20 different products, and we're going to see how they have performed in the past to give us an idea of maybe how 151 might perform in the future. Then we're going to look at the why. The why is, hey, just because these have performed this way, why do we think Pokemon 151 has the opportunity to mimic those results and possibly give us the same returns that these other products have had? So we're going to have a ton of fun looking at this stuff. I can't wait to share it with you. And if you are into stuff like this, if this is your first time viewing the channel, we do all kinds of cool, fun, crazy stuff like this. We do openings, we do data dives. We have this huge data warehouse where we're always looking at long-term trends. So we would love to have you as a member of this community. Hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment down below, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you a member of this group. We're doing some really fun stuff here. So without further ado, let's get into some of this data, and I'm going to walk you through what this all means. That way we understand what we're talking about. So I thought, how's a great way to look at this Pokemon 151 set? Like, we believe it's going to come out as a specialty set, so we don't think it's going to be a booster box one. We think it's going to come back out just in ETBs and Pokemon Center ETBs and those other type of products. So I said, hey, let's look at Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield and see how they rolled out. And their rollout pattern was similar for both. So they did 3 booster box sets, and then they did a specialty set. Same pattern for both. So I said, let's see how those 3 booster box sets have performed versus that very first specialty set that rolls out. So here I have all the names of them: Sun and Moon, Guardian Rising, Burning Shadow, Shining Legends, the MSRP that they started at, their current price, and the number of months that they have been out. And that is really important because when we're going to look at sets from different eras, we have to have some way to normalize it so we're comparing apples to apples, and that is where you get the rate of return. So a great example of this is, look at the Sun and Moon base set. MSRP was $143.64, current is $213. Then you look at Rebel Clash down in the Sword and Shield era, right? MSRP was the same, current price is almost the same, but their rate of return is different. Rebel Clash's rate of return is almost twice as much, well, actually it's a little over twice as much as that of Sun and Moon, and that's because it's only been out half as long. So the number of months versus the rate of return is what allows us to normalize things as we're looking at this. So look at Sun and Moon. So we'll start at Sun and Moon, Guardian Rising, Burning Shadows, and Shining Legends. Listen, great rates of return all the way down the board. Sun and Moon almost at 6.5% over the last 73 months. Listen, that is a decent rate of return over 73 months. That's an incredible long amount of time to get a rate of return of 6.5%. Really, really solid performance. Then you get to Guardian Rising at almost 14.2%. You get to Burning Shadows at 17%, but then Shining Legends, that very first specialty set, man, just crushed it at 34.5% rate of return over 65 months. Now, think about all that has happened over the last 73 months. Think about everything that we've gone through just from a US perspective, from a global perspective, from a financial perspective. All kinds of things have happened, yet these sets have still returned these amazing rates over this period of time, which is just incredible. It speaks to the longevity, it speaks to the popularity, it speaks to the power of Pokemon collecting for the long term. Now we'll get into the Sword and Shield era, right? A little bit newer. So we look at Sword and Shield base set that had a return of 21.8%. Now, we have been talking about that on this channel. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me why Sword and Shield has been going a little bit bonkers, but it has. At the end of the day, it has. I don't know if it's going to continue on this bull run. I don't know if it's going to normalize. I don't know if we expect to see it perform more similarly to Sun and Moon, or if it's setting a new kind of trend line for base sets. I'll tell you this, Scarlet and Violet, I did a video a couple months ago where I said, I'm not buying Scarlet and Violet. I was one of the few ones who said that. Singles prices sure have been not doing well recently, so we will see what that does for booster boxes, but base sets typically don't perform that well. Sword and Shield has bucked that trend a little bit. Then we get to Rebel Clash, 13.5% rate of return, right? That's comparable to Guardian Rising, comparable to Burning Shadows. Darkness Ablaze, womp womp, right? Like basically flat since its launch. So Darkness Ablaze has some room to grow, but then Champion's Path, that specialty ETB, look at that, right up at 30% rate of return. So this is starting to say, okay, there's a little bit of a trend here. But then I thought, hey, listen, maybe Shining Legends, maybe Champion's Path are this statistical anomaly. Maybe they outperformed all the other specialty products. So I need to look at all the specialty products from Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield in order to understand if these two are anomalies or if it's just a trend for specialty ETBs. And what we did here was I looked at all of them. So Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, right? Sun and Moon, I looked at Hidden Fates. Detective Pikachu did not have an ETB, but I used that collector's chest. The collector's chest had 7 packs and some goodies in it. So I used that as a baseline, so you'll see the MSRP is different than the other ones. I used Dragon Magistry, I used Shining Legends, and you'll see that the rates of return for the Sun and Moon era are absolutely stupid, right? 33.3%, 34.5%, 43%, and then 34%. So all of the specialty products in Sun and Moon have absolutely balled out. Then we're gonna get down to the Sword and Shield era. You see I have Pokemon Go and Shining Fates in a different color. That's because I wanted to call those out. We can't really use them in a comparative analysis right now, simply because they're still available in Walmart and Target. They're still available on Pokemon Center, right? Like, you don't understand the true growth of a product when it's readily available at MSRP. So even though I have them called out here, even though Pokemon Go isn't performing super great right now, even though Shining Fates is basically flat, we just can't include them because you can buy them at MSRP. But we can look at Celebrations and we can look at Champion's Path, and I think Celebrations is a great one to look at because this set, Pokemon 151, feels very Celebrations-esque, right? So Celebrations has done 37.5% rate of return. Champion's Path, we talked about it a minute ago, 30% rate of return. I didn't include Crown Zenith on just because Crown Zenith is brand spanking new, but I will tell you this, Pokemon Center ETBs for Crown Zenith are absolutely popping off. I looked at them this morning. They're like $120. MSRP was $64.99. You know, the regular ETBs are lagging a little bit, but I think Crown Zenith is going to be up here. Again, another one I did a video on a couple months ago where I was incredibly bullish on the long-term prospects of Crown Zenith. If you want to see my thoughts on it and why I think I'm incredibly bullish on it, you can go back and watch that. But I think Crown Zenith is going to be right up there along with these sets for the long run. But then I thought this, hey, listen, what if it makes more sense to invest in other booster boxes? I said, I'm always talking about, hey, listen, we should be looking ahead. Like, we need to be forward looking. So why don't we hold some money aside? I said this when I did, matter of fact, when I did my Scarlet and Violet video, I said one of the reasons I'm not investing in Scarlet and Violet booster boxes is because I think Pokemon 151 is going to be a monster set. Now that I've seen it, obviously I feel even more strongly about that. But in the next slide, I wanted to look at all of the booster boxes and say, hey, if there's more opportunity in booster boxes, maybe I'll go ahead and spend some money on those or set some money aside for them. So I looked at all of the booster boxes in Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield that's at least 24 months old. So Battle Styles is the newest, and obviously it's bookended by Sun and Moon base set. And then I looked at all of their possible ROIs. So you know I always talk about the videos on this channel layer on top of each other. Our grading videos layer in, our booster box projection videos layer in. All of them layer in when we're talking about the holistic view from this Pokemon market that we all love and enjoy so much. So here, you know, we do our lower and upper confidence bounds. You know that we've been doing this for, you know, months and months and months now, and you know that this is always really accurate up until this point. So I looked at these from an upper and lower confidence bound, and I said, okay, where are these booster boxes in relation to where all of these specialty ETBs have performed? Absolutely crazy. Team Up and Cosmic Eclipse are the only two booster box sets that are older than 24 months in the Sun and Moon era that would have outperformed any of those specialty ETBs if you had bought them. Absolutely crazy. There's 17 sets here that we're looking at. Out of 17, only 2 would have outperformed. You could have picked any of the specialty ETBs and you would have outperformed all but 2 of these booster box sets. Now, there are 3 that would have performed about the same, right? Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, Celestial Storm would have performed about the same. But again, 3, so you're talking a total of 5 that would have performed as good or better out of 17 sets versus a 100% hit rate in those specialty ETBs. To me, it's just a no-brainer. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be spending money on booster boxes. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't have these as part of your collection. But it does mean when a set like 151 is coming out, we should be excited. We should be thinking about it now. Like, just because humans can't predict the future doesn't mean we can't put plans in place for what we think is going to happen. I am putting nickels aside for 151. I've been talking about this for a long time. It is a product that I am super excited about, and I think the data supports it. If I miss something or if you guys see something else, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. But now we're going to talk about the cardboard, because aside from these datas and spreadsheets, like, the cardboard in this set is going to be off the charts awesome. So it is going to be all 151 Pokemon from the Kanto era, right? Like, absolutely amazing. Like, this is the region that, I'll tell you this, when I am buying sealed product outside of booster boxes, so if I'm going for UPCs or, you know, VMAX boxes or really anything, I am always looking for that anchor Pokemon on that box to be from the Kanto region. I think that that has tons of collectability. It's got a ton of nostalgia. Everybody knows the names. Like, over the long term, that has produced the greatest results. So that is one of the things that I look for when I'm looking for a sealed product, right? I also like a high MSRP. I also look at the intrinsic value of all the packs that are inside the box, right? There's a lot of things that I look at, but one of the biggest ones is, hey, what Pokemon's on the box, because it matters. As I mentioned earlier, everybody seems to think that this is going to be a standalone set. I'm telling you right now, until things are official, I am going to speak with some degree of vagueness, simply because who knows what is officially going to happen. But once Pokemon Company announces all of this and puts a line in the sand and says this is how it's going to be, then we'll start talking in more definitive terms. But if this is a standalone set, think Celebrations, think Crown Zenith, think any of the ones that I just talked about, I think it's going to be absolutely insane. It's just going to be awesome. And then one of my favorite things was this. I was afraid when Pokemon 151 first got announced that they were going to reuse the artwork from the 1999 base set. I was very, very concerned. I thought, man, they had this great opportunity to really kickstart the Scarlet and Violet era. I'm not super excited about the first set. I'm not super excited about the second set. I need something to get fired up about. I saw that this was launching. I really wanted some cool art, and I think that they have delivered. These three cards right here, it seems like it's a throwback. It certainly relates to the original art, but it is unique in and of itself, and I think that is absolutely awesome. Again, we talk about videos laying on top of each other. On Wednesday, we shared our grading recap video from the month of March, and guess what? All of the Pokemon, all of the most graded Pokemon are going to be in this, well, almost all of them. There were some trainers that popped up this month, but almost all of them are going to be in this set, which again, just speaks to the collectability, just speaks to the awesomeness of this set. And I think as we get more and more pictures, as we get more and more information, we're only going to continue to get more and more excited. With that being said, listen, I don't care if you buy this product to rip. I don't care if you buy this product to hold. I don't care if you buy this product to flip. It doesn't matter to me. All I care about is you find joy in it, and I wanted to share with you just one of the reasons why I'm incredibly excited about this. Yes, I think it's a great investment product, but I also am going to have so much fun. Like, I'd say a third of my money is going to be to buy this and rip this and send cards in to get graded and add them to my personal collection and have a ton of fun with my kids while we do it. And then probably 2/3 of it is going to end up in a cool dark closet somewhere, because I think over the long run, you know, PikiPikaPapa is going to be able to make a few nickels on this. I also think that there's going to be all kinds of cool, I think there's going to be a UPC product that comes out. I think there's going to be, just like Celebrations had some really cool box products that come out. I just think this is the set for 2023 in my mind. So with that being said, if you made it all the way to the end and you haven't been a subscriber yet, hit that subscribe button. We got all kinds of cool stuff coming out, and we'd love to have you as a member of this channel. I appreciate your time. I hope you guys are gearing up for an awesome weekend. Be safe, and we will talk soon. See you, everybody.